Friends, welcome to Happy Nursing. This is Ila. In our previous video, we discussed the psychosocial theory of development by Sigmund Freud. After he gave his developmental theory of 5 stages, many of his psychoanalytic followers were influenced by that and proposed their own theory. Erik Erikson was one of them. According to Erikson, there are 8 stages of development through the lifespan of an individual. There are tasks in each stage which need to be mastered before going into the next one. We will look into the stages in detail. The first stage is called trust versus mistrust, which is considered to last from birth to 1 year of age. When a baby is born, he is entirely dependent on his caregivers. Establishment of trust is very important at this stage. If that is established, they will feel safe and secure in the world. For example, when a baby is crying out of hunger, he is fed. When he needs to pass urine or stool, he is attended by his mother or any other caregiver available around him. So what happens in the process? He develops a relationship of trust that he is safe in this world. Someone is available for him. And in this way, sometimes they recognize that someone, maybe mother, maybe sister, maybe aunt, like that. He learns to trust himself, others, and the world around him. But there will be times that a baby's needs go unmet. For example, when he is hospitalized and parents are not allowed with him, or parent is busy and takes time to attend the baby, or maybe a new caregiver is attending the baby and is not able to do her job properly. Then what happens? The infant's sense of trust is challenged and he feels unsafe. Parents should try to support the infant overcome this situation. How can they do it? By responding as soon as they can when the baby cries, feeding him properly and timely, providing him warmth and physical contact by holding him closely. Mistrust can cause children to become fearful, confused, and anxious, all of which make it difficult to form healthy relationships in future. Next stage is autonomy versus sense of shame and doubt, 1 to 3 years of age. By this stage, a growing child can accomplish several tasks like walking, feeding himself, using the toilet, taking decisions like choosing toys, clothes or food, or choosing to be with a particular caregiver, etc. This is like a newfound independence to him. Parents must encourage this. As they learn to do things for themselves, they establish a sense of self-control, willpower, as well as confidence in their own abilities. In future, they are more likely to succeed in mastering social, academic, and other skills. Now, there may be some choices which are harshly prohibited by the parents or the guardians. For example, a child is trying to dress himself or tie shoelaces, but the parent becomes impatient and does that for him. Or a parent is constantly rejecting his child's ideas. That leads to a feeling of shame and doubt. In future, they may suffer from defensive behavior, depression, low self-esteem, lower levels of coping skills, etc. Next stage is initiative versus guilt, which remains from 3 to 6 years of age. During this stage, the child uses her imagination to explore her own environment. She wants to try out new things, but often faces dilemma due to the prohibitions placed on her by parents. During this time, a sense of right and wrong is also developed in a child. Therefore, she faces conflicts whenever she takes initiative to try out something new, especially those which are limited to her. And this can cause a feeling of guilt in her. For example, a child is advised not to take others' things without asking. But at this stage, play and imagination take on an important role. As they have gained autonomy in the previous phase, now naturally they feel excited about exercising some control over what they are doing. So suppose a child took her classmate's book without asking him and later got scolded by the teachers and parents. This can give birth to guilt and somehow the child understands that she is bad. Instead of being rude, caregivers can encourage children to see their mistakes as learning opportunities. The parents and teachers should make her understand why this is wrong and if she repeats this, what will be the outcome, so that she can learn the expected behavior. Or maybe a child participated in a race for the first time and couldn't run properly. It depends on the response of his parents and teachers. How will he feel? Criticism and harsh behavior in both the cases can result in a faulty personality development. The child may resist trying new things ever in the future for the fear of failure. Next is industry versus inferiority, stage from 6 to 11 years of age. During this stage, a child learns various emotional and social skills. Through proficiency at play and schoolwork, children are able to develop a sense of competence and pride in their abilities. During social interactions with peers, some children may discover that their abilities are better than those of their friends or that their talents are highly prized by others. This can lead to feelings of confidence. In other cases, kids may perceive that they are not quite as capable as the other kids, which can result in feelings of inadequacy. It's important that their parents or caregivers support them as they face these challenges. Children at this stage need to be able to experience real achievement to develop a sense of competency. For example, a child may struggle with a particular subject, say maths, but his parents and teachers continuously helped him to capture the subject. He receives encouragement and praise for his efforts and feels more confident. On the other hand, some other parents may just criticize their child without helping. It may result in giving up and being left with feelings of inferiority. Child supported during this stage develops a greater sense of self-esteem, better mental and physical health, and positive self-image. Children who are not supported during this phase may develop low self-esteem, antisocial behavior, anxiety, depression, poor academic performance, substance abuse, or suicidal ideation. Next stage is identity versus role confusion, which occurs at the time of puberty. As it occurs at the time of puberty, there are notable physiological changes and sexual maturation. During the transition from childhood to adulthood, teens may begin to feel confused or insecure about how they fit into society. Often they experiment with different roles, activities, and behaviors and develop a conscious sense of self through social interaction. For example, one who is introvert cannot be in a talkative group for long. He can connect to the similar persons like him. He becomes aware of his own identity. Each one of them understands that they have some unique characteristics of their own and their decisions differ from each other. This understanding is essential to make adult choices like choosing a marriage partner or profession. As the adolescent enters into the society, they have some new roles and new demands to fulfill. As they continue to fulfill them, their sense of identity grows stronger. For example, the shy girl realizes that she cannot perform on stage, but suppose she has a good hand for machineries, so she can control the PA system from the backstage. Those who can master this stage successfully develop loyalty and obedience to others and his own ideals. Kids who are not allowed to explore and taste out different identities may have role confusion. This may result in being unsure of who they are and where they fit, shifting from one job or relationship to another, feeling disappointed and confused about one's own place in life, etc. Next stage is intimacy versus isolation. This stage can be seen in young adults. After developing the sense of identity, they search for meaningful friendships and an intimate relationship with another. For example, the introvert boy we were talking about, after understanding self, now wants a soulmate who will understand him and love him for who he is. People who navigate through the stage successfully are able to make fulfilling relationships with other people. On the other hand, poor or unhealthy relationships, lack of social connections, fear of rejection, and disappointment are caused to the people who cannot find their companion. They suffer from isolation. Now, the next stage is generativity versus self-absorption and stagnation. It occurs during the middle age. After establishing meaningful and intimate relationship, the middle-aged wants to focus on supporting future generations. They want to make their mark by doing something that will outlast them. They do that through parenting, teaching, and involving in other jobs, contributing to society. They find a sense of fulfillment by participating in these jobs. Those who are successful during this phase feel that they are contributing to the world or making the world a better place by being active in their home and community. But those who don't get a chance to contribute in the same manner may suffer from stagnation. That may result in feeling disconnected with the world, being self-centered and unproductive. We are left with our last stage, integrity versus despair, which occurs at the old age. As the aging process begins, physical losses occur, along with loss in status and function. When an old man retires, suddenly he loses his job role. When an aged person suffers from any illness like gout, his functional ability is lost. So, the onset of this stage is generally triggered by life events such as retirement, loss of a spouse, loss of friends and acquaintances, facing a terminal illness, and other changes to major roles in life. In this stage, they look back at their life and try to identify whether it is well lived or not. Either they may feel a sense of accomplishment, a feeling of peace and acceptance that they have successfully lived through their life, which is called integrity, or they may have regret for the missed opportunities, which is called despair. In that case, they may have a feeling that life was wasted and they may go into depression. So, we are done with all the 8 stages given by Erikson. Trust versus mistrust, which starts from birth, continues till 1 year of age. Autonomy versus sense of shame and doubt, 1 to 3 years. Initiative versus guilt, 3 to 6 years. Industry versus inferiority, 6 to 11 years. Identity versus role confusion, occurring at puberty. Intimacy versus isolation, seen in young adults. Generativity versus self-absorption and stagnation for middle-aged, and integrity versus despair for the old-aged. I hope you have understood this video. If you find this useful, like and share it and subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon to get the notification of my next video. Thank you for watching.